Heyo, we are walking. Hey, you game for some summer forecasting? G. Not even sure if I am myself. If you can recall from last year, well, I did, as I said, I couldn't see anything last spring, so of the Milky Way. So, and doing summer forecasts is, of a very much newer model than doing the winter forecast. It's something that kind of came on the back of doing the winter forecast. I thought, maybe I can do what I do in fall, I can do in the spring, and see if we can use the conditions in the Milky Way as a good pinpointer for how the summer weather will be, since it works so well in the winter. This spring I've gotten quite a few sessions in at night, going out looking at the Milky Way. Just I am being very flippant if I say I just spent 5 minutes on making a forecast, but when you learn this method, you will understand it's really not it's really not as complicated as maybe some would make it seem. And sometimes I guess I myself make it sound a little bit complicated. It's a bit because I'm not a scientist. I'm an artist, if anything, and lately also doing a lot of some DJing, which I love doing. You should book me if you want to hear some exciting music or play it in, and yeah. Oh, and yeah. I've seen there are certain people that have can afford to wear better shoes than me. I don't know if it is related that I have this spring, this Easter, and the winter, they have been spending quite a lot of time up north, and gee, I wonder if some of those also are taking a look up there. I wonder what what am I seeing, and maybe too embarrassed to ask for guidance. I don't know. I just found it a bit peculiar. But in any case, I hope you got some good viewing sessions, and I'm sure up north at this time of year it's way better viewing conditions than down here south, where the days are getting pretty long at this point, and when the days are getting longer, the nights are also being lighter. And for having a good observation of the Milky Way and the stars in general, the planets, you need a really dark sky, and you don't really want the moon either. So all in all, what could be like a good month, 5-6 weeks of viewing time, you also have to consider the moon. The light of the moon can be very annoying, and light pollution in general from towns, villages, and whatever. Even when you're up high, even then it's because everything else is so dark. Those spots that don't seem like such a big deal, they do play a big role in how much of the sky you can watch. And I think you can ask any professional astronomer about that, they will agree. And if I were a politician, I would not hesitate to put in place light pollution measurements to really, you just want the light at night to point down at the road and where people are. You don't need it to point up in the sky and everywhere. So yeah, that's a big nuisance, but it doesn't give you necessarily bad health, I think. I don't know. It's one of those pollution things that never really gets discussed, and I thought, okay, let's bring that up. So that being out of the way, I also want to say that these summer forecasts, way more than winter forecasts, are still of it's work in progress, and I have to take it easy year by year, because that's the way the planet rolls. Cannot make forecast when there's not forecast season, and the time you're allotted to view is what you're gonna get, and then you have to wait another year. So and also let me tell you, the Milky Way in the springtime is quite different from the winter time. I don't know how to say, because the background stars, well, for one thing, we are on the other side of the solar system from where we would be in winter, and that's around the sun. So our viewing angle of the Milky Way, and as it relates to the background stars, its position will have changed quite significantly. So me still not being fully well versed in how to deal with these summer predictions, I'm not gonna put too many time markers on this, or when exactly, because I'm just not familiar enough. But I can give you a quite general overlook here. As you see here, now we have a very faint drizzle, and I think we will not have too much rain before midsummer. We will have some, not a lot, and I'm not saying it's going to be a all-out drought, but it might be in some places, and a few places there might be some spots of heavy rain here and there, but not something that can really satiate the ground, if you can get my drift. Now it's still snow melt. I think I said in one of the winter forecasts that it would be a good chance that maybe not the hydroelectric dams would be able to fill all their magazines. It seems like that also is coming due, but I'm not sure if I said it or if it was just something I thought about saying in one of the forecasts. So just for the record, but I might have said it. And yeah, continue with the summer. Is that so? Not so much rain until midsummer. If you are a farmer, I believe your harvest will be way better the second round of making hay. Some have trees. Slåttesesong. Slåttesesong. Hva sier en på engelsk? I'm not so sure how to say. To make hay. Because there's not going to be so much growth in the first half of the summer. And then somewhere not too far out over midsummer, showers will come in, and if I try to remember correctly, one of the probably the only date I can give you, it would be from around the 24th of July, maybe into 27th. We are having an alignment with Mercury, and but those are usually fairly short, and unless we have, oh well, if I remember, where we jigged between a couple of other planets there. I can't remember at the time. But in any case, if I remember correctly, there's not a new moon passing, and Mercury, being the swift messenger, he's gonna be in and out of that pretty quickly. But it might start the hurricane season there somewhere late in July, so we'll get an early start. And as we move into August, we'll see some of the most significant rainfalls coming for a week, maybe two. Here is where I cannot be too exact. And after this rainfall, we'll have some of the very best weather of the summer. We'll have plenty of blue sky days. I'm not going to say it, but it might be somewhat overcast also that you see the sun dimly through the cloud covering. But not so much rain until then, out in August. And then some of the best weather also, likewise, for like a week or two. Not week and a half. And then towards the end of August, we'll see the rain pick up again. We'll have two separate systems coming in of, slight it's so hard to find the right words on describing the weather like this. And if I am watching all this correctly, I have to do those two showers, a bout of great weather again. Maybe a little Indian summer there in towards over in September, and towards the end of it, another rain shower is how far I can see. I believe. From then again, these highly informal, non-scientific or really maybe really scientific, depending on which books you read, direct observation of the Milky Way, a product of observation I have developed myself over the years since around 2007, I believe, 2008 at latest. And over the years I've developed into something of an art form, I guess is the best way to say it. Because believe me if you will, there's really no sure way of putting your foot in your mouth than by straight-facedly making half-year weather forecasts, as I say, based on direct observation of the Milky Way. If it was wrong, I wouldn't be doing it year after year after year, and if I did, I'd have quite a lot more laughs around my posts and a lot more ridicule to my name. Thing is, and I am as shocked as you are, I believe. The first years I did that, I was like really nervous because what am I doing? Crazy guy. People who know me, I used to be being a bit crazy. And I'm always saying it's for a reason. My crazy is not your crazy, and this is my normal. Weather is something that comes into us daily from from space, really. But I consider Milky Way and the hydrogen chain it supplies to the sun makes fusion on the surface, as per written in the book by James McCanney, The Physics of Sun-Earth Weather, the Principia Meteorologia, which so many times recommend people to just get a firmer grasp on what I am talking about. There's mainstream science will have it that space is electrically neutral, and that seems like it's a hill they are willing to die on. But time and time again, anybody can employ the physics of James McCanney and clearly verify for themselves that there seems to be quite a lot of fields of varying voltage out in space, plasma, fields of plasma, and they interact with each other, and when foreign elements like comets come into those fields, depending on where they are, it might ignite a comet, especially here in the inner solar system. Outside of Jupiter, maybe not so much, but for certainly when we are getting to the inner solar system, we see it time and again. And astronomers are I'm not going to go. That's not my battle, that's James' battle. What I have added to all this is that from reading some old books, I got the tip that in times of old, before the meteorologists found their way around, some people would watch the Milky Way and give forecasts like I do, and I likely saw a lot of the stuff coming due, but I also saw other storms they couldn't explain, and I believe then that those other storms are those that came about by reason of our planetary conjunction, something I don't think the average farmer 500, 700 years ago had too much inkling about the physics of. I think we can be pretty sure they didn't. But they sure knew how to follow the sky, and found enough correlation that many generations later it would end up in a popular science book as one of the things that Værtegn. I should find that book, and you can find it yourself. But really, it was really just a couple of 4 lines of instruction on how to do this, and I think now I could make if I just could find some peace in my head, I really should sit down and write out a pamphlet or something, try to make some money, maybe get some fame to my name, or something that could give me some income and give me some push forward into the art world, or whatever it is what I am doing these days. I've had a turbulent life, and I'm heading into calmer waters as the planet seems dead set on destruction. It's weird. Anyway, I'm crossing a dam here. I think I should be tuning out, and yeah, you should watch my latest mix video also. It's a good show. Okay, take care.